So in this week's video we move on to, I thought I'd just nailed the first lot of parasites. In the last video we found fluke, so we dealt with that with our fluke treatment, no problem at all. To come to 2 or 3 weeks later, and can you believe it? Chilodonella. Not had that before. Interesting one. Yeah, that's come along now, so we're going to treat that as well. So I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, this is the last parasite we're going to deal with. Okay, I added 2 or 3 new fish. Maybe they brought them in, no idea. Maybe they come from elsewhere, who knows? You know, stress levels of fish, I don't know. But anyway, so got it, need to deal with it. Let's crack on. So my weapon of choice for Chilodonella is going to be malachite green and formaldehyde. You can do the formalin. I've chosen to go for formaldehyde. Why? Because that's all I've got in. I've only got formaldehyde in. I've got no formalin in. Formaldehyde, there's 2 different types, and I've got the Aqua Source, the Evolution Aqua product, which seems a pretty good grade of formaldehyde, but it's an empty tin, so I can't use that. So I'm using the cloverleaf formaldehyde answer, which is 30% formaldehyde per 100 milliliters of volume. So I'm going to go in first of all with the formaldehyde, measure that up, get that in. It's a clear liquid, so there's no point me showing you what happens with that, because it's a clear liquid, it's just in. Not bothering telling you dosages because your pond will be different to mine and so on and so forth. And then I'm going to hit it with the malachite. So you can get these mixed. You can get like products where they stick them both together and you get one tin with both in. But I like to do them separately because I'm going to try to do a little bit of a stronger dose of the formaldehyde and then follow it up with the malachite afterwards. So let's get cracked on and get them put in pronto. Okay, got the trusty watering can that I use just for the pond. And what you find as well is these treatments usually come with their own little measuring cap, which is handy. You know which one you've used for the malachite green because it's stained. So I always use the same cap for that one. The one with the clover leaves, these usually come with a squeezy thing, so you shake the can and then you open this sort of measuring bit and then you squeeze it into there. Doesn't make that noise, I just made that up myself. And then into the watering can. It's one of those days today where I've got loads on and I have to find Chilodonella in my pond. I ain't got time for this, but I've always got time for you as a viewer, always. I just thought there was something wrong in the pond. Remember the last video I said this? You know, you know your pond and you have a little inkling that something's not quite right. I don't know, there's just something wrong in the pond still. I'm sure it's fine, but you know, it doesn't seem right. Well, it turns out I was right. You kind of get to know your own pond and your own fish, and I just didn't think something was right at all. It was, you know, you kind of, when you've done a treatment, your fish usually pick up and then they just go out and just start doing what they do and start feeding and whatnot. And I don't know why I put that on that side, it should be on that side. And yeah, so I had a funny feeling something was wrong with the pond, and then as soon as I'd finished the fluke treatment, almost 24 hours later, flashing around still, and then like a lot, and I thought, oh, what now? Surely not. So I gave it another 24 hours just to, because I didn't want to keep pulling the fish out. You know, that stresses them out as much as it does. So I didn't bother pulling any out. And then I thought, I'm going to have to, because if there's something else in there, I need to know what it is. And the thing with Chilodonella is, it's quite an aggressive parasite that can really affect the fish if you don't handle it or you don't get rid of it quick enough. Hence why I'm getting a little bit of OTT on the formaldehyde, because I want to make sure I've got a decent strong dose in there to get it early-ish, hopefully it's early, and get it quick. I don't know how long that's been hanging around in there. I may have missed it when I did the fluke scrape and found that on the slides. So we're going to start with the formaldehyde, and we're going to do a decent dose of this. It's looking like I used 10 milliliters per 680 litres. Right, formaldehyde's in. I'm going to give that half an hour now just to get into the water. I've kind of put it in sort of over half an hour, just put a little bit in, bit more, just so I'm not shocking any fish in there, because it is quite a strong dose. And now we're going to get in the malachite green. Now this is asking for 10 milliliters per 909 litres. So again, you know, I know what my own dose is, so I'm going to get in and get this done. Right, let's change that water colour. Right, so both doses are in now. As you can see, the water is turning its usual colour, like of a bluey green colour. And because I've got the sky pond on as well, I can actually see it working a little bit better. Obviously you can see it at the window, but I can see it in the sky pond as well, so I know that it's gone all the way through the system. And just checking on the filter system, yeah, it's now entered the filter system as well, which is good. So give it 24 hours. It's usually, I mean, to be honest, like I say, I've never dosed for Chilodonella before, but I've dosed loads before with formalin or formaldehyde and malachite green, so I kind of know that side, but I don't know the parasite much that I'm dealing with now. Right, so while that's bubbling away quite nicely in the pond and hopefully dealing with the Chilodonella, I've done a bit of reading up on this horrible little parasite. Let me tell you a bit more about it. So Chilodonella is a parasite that affects the skin and the gills of the koi. Now it's really, really small, this isn't. You need a microscope to find it. So you're going to be doing scrapes on your fish along the skin and around the gill so that you can see it, but you can only see it by using a microscope. So if you're not got a microscope yet, get a microscope if you're having or need to look for stuff like this, and I'll stick one in the description below, the ones that I use, because they're invaluable, these things. Now this thing multiplies quickly through division, so it can, and it's a swimmer as well. It's a really efficient swimmer, so it can get around from one fish to another and can cause mayhem in the ponds, especially if your pond is overstocked. As I've just done, the most effective way of treating for Chilodonella is the same as white spot or costia, so using formaldehyde and malachite green mixed at the same dose as the other two. So you know, it's if you've dosed for costia or for white spot, then it's the same thing for Chilodonella. So how can you spot Chilodonella in your pond? It makes your fish very lethargic, lots of appetite, lots of flashing and rubbing around, cloudiness on the body. That's due to the mucus buildup as the fish tries to fight against things coming into its skin. So you know, there's a number of different things. I've had a couple of fish like that where I've not caught something early enough, and unfortunately that fish hasn't made it. There's another thing with the Chilodonella as well, with most parasites, is if you don't catch them early enough and then they actually burrow themselves into the skin or start doing what they shouldn't be doing, or what we don't want them to do on the fish, is it could potentially lead to bacterial issues. So you know, raised scales, redness on the side of the koi, early signs of ulcers, you know, those kind of things. So I mean, to be honest, what I've done in the past when I've finished doing, I mean, this is the second lot of treatments they're now going in to the pond to deal with stuff, is I might just do a Virkon treatment in a couple of weeks time or a week's time or whatever. As soon as I finish this treatment, change the water and then maybe do a Virkon treatment just in case that I've been a bit late getting the Chilodonella, because I didn't see it first time around when I was dealing with the fluke. So I might just stick a Virkon in just to hopefully catch any bacterias or infections or any kind of bacterial disease that I don't want in there, because the last thing you want is a bacterial infection in your pond. Oh man, they just wipe ponds out. So let's give it a few days and then we'll have a look, see how everybody's doing. So let's go to another day. Right, a couple of days later, update on fish. Looking okay at the moment. I think they're a bit out of sync with having a number of chemicals put in there over the last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I've done a decent water change, so I've got a lot of fresher water in there, and I've had a couple of injuries, not sure where from. One of my kohaku, one of the new ones, the second one I added, had a little mark on its side. It doesn't look too bad, it just looks like it's bumped itself. I think it was from, you know, it's been doing a lot of flashing around over the last, you know, week or so with the two parasites, fluke and the Chilodonella. And also I've got a tench in there, believe it or not. I've got a couple of goldfish that I think a lot of you are aware I've already had in my koi pond. But I've also got a tench that I've had in there for years. He was in the original pond way back from, I think I had him from 2013 or 14, so I've had him years. And people always said, oh, don't put this treatment in if you've got tench, don't put that in. I tell you what, I've hit my pond with every treatment. In fact, I don't think there's any I've not hit it with. It's been PP'd, it's been malachited, it's been all the fluke parasite treatments, everyone I can think of, the M, the T, the S. It's been formaldehyded. I can't think of any treatment that's not been in that pond. And I tell you what, that little fish is bulletproof, but it's done something to its eye. And this isn't new. It did something to its eye a couple of years ago, I don't know what, but I kept an eye on it and it kind of healed itself. So, waffle. He's got it doesn't look very nice at all. It's all redded and and like he has bumped it again somewhere. So I am going to work on the pond in the next couple of days. I'm going to get this water change done, because everybody seems to be settling down a little bit now. They're still not back to 100% eating. But again, pond temperatures are all over the blooming place. The pond's back down to just under 15 degrees now. I had 19, almost 20 degrees about a week or so ago. Looking really good. Obviously then the treatments came in, and that was a bit of a bummer, and had to slow the feeding right down and deal with the parasites first. Now I'm getting rid of the parasites, I want to start feeding again. Blooming temperatures have gone down again. So my little question for this week in the comment below bit is, what is happening with your pond? Are you finding the same difficulties that I've been finding since, when did I reopen this pond? I reopened this pond in, it was late, because we were late with the temperatures. It was late May, I'm sure it was. And I'm just wondering if you can comment below on how your pond is doing, and if everything's a little bit abnormal than it usually is, because of the temperatures up and down and the rain and the off rain, and then it's supposed to have been sunny today. So let's just keep an eye on this for the next 24 hours or so, and then I might do that Vircony thing. Let's go to yet another day. And another day and another dollar. So where are we then with the Chilodonella? Looking good at the moment, to be honest. The fish were flashing around a little bit, not yesterday but days before. I've left it 2 days before I've concluded this video. I just wanted to just double check a few things. Feeding is still a bit hit and miss, and again I'm putting that down to dropping temperatures between 14 and 15 now, where it was nearly 20 a little while back, a few days back. I've been trying to encourage a bit of feeding by putting some brown bread in. You can see the chag there's just trying to have a go at a little bit of brown bread, because they don't seem interested in the normal feed, and I've had to go back to the below 15 degrees food, which is like a lowish protein food that Steve gave me from Pencoy, just to tide over until we get the temperatures back up again. But again today, cold, windy. Are we ever going to have a summer where we can get out and enjoy our ponds and let the fish enjoy some decent temperatures and get a bit of growth and some decent food in? I blooming hope so. Looking at the injuries that I said I had a few days ago. Oh, and just on command, the second kohaku turned up there at the window. No issues that I can see. It's looking okay actually. I put the Vircon in about 3 days ago now, and yeah, no major issues with that now. The Vircon, I put the usual dose in, a dose, and just sat back and just left it for a couple of days, and no issues. Haven't seen a tench today though, so just while I'm doing this video I might just press pause and just go and have a quick look. Excellent news. Right, I wouldn't give it a couple of hours, I thought I'd just give it a few more days just to see how he's got on in the pond with his mangy looking eye. Redness has gone down. Took a video earlier on. Redness has gone down now, which is good, and the eye looks like it did do before it had that little red bit on it. So that's how it's looked for a couple of years now, to be honest. So I'm going to leave well alone. I'm not going to try getting him out and salt bathing him and all that kind of stuff, because it looks like it's got a bit better. It's not as red now, my little bulletproof tench. So I'm going to leave it at that for the time being, and just keep an eye on everybody, and because putting treatments in your pond is a pain in the backside. And like I say, I've not got a lot of time for that. I've got time to do other things better than chasing Chilodonella around my pond. So if you like the video, please subscribe, share, ding the bell for notifications, and click that like, because that makes all the difference to, believe it or not, the algorithms. Thanks very much for watching Quick Pond Lifestyle.